So it's been 4 days, 2 different events, and we are now going to update you on what trading at fairs in 2022 has been like for us so far compared to previous years. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name's Anne and along with my friend Wayne we run the Sussex Handmade Soap Company, which is a handmade bath and body business in Battle in East Sussex. And we also run this YouTube channel where we share with you our general day-to-day goings on, the making of our products and some behind the scenes and business talk about how things are just generally going. And today what we want to do is actually talk about events and craft fairs and markets that we have done so far in 2022. We started at fairs and events in 2019. In 2019 we were building our business and we had a really good year considering it was our first year trading. Then of course 2020 came along and everything went a bit haywire. 2021 was much the same as 2020 and now we're into 2022. And initially we thought 2022 was going to be our year. You know, COVID was, not a thing of the past completely, but it's something that is less at the forefront of everyone's minds now. So we were hoping that people were going to come out and be spending money and enjoying being out and about again. And then of course, if you are here in the UK, and I think to be honest, much of Europe, we have had things like the prices going up and the cost of living going up and the gas and electric bills skyrocketing for everyone. And that really has had a massive impact. And I know there are a lot worse things going on in the world, there really is. And it's easy to say, well, I can't talk about my problems because other people are having things far worse. And yeah, that is the case. But I think one of the most unhelpful things people can say to you when you are struggling is, oh, there's people that are far worse off than you, because that is obviously true. But it doesn't take away from the fact that you might be struggling a bit too. So today we are just purely going to focus on craft fairs, events and how things have been for us, I say in 2022 compared to previous years. And another reason that we are actually doing this video today is that I have seen a few posts on Facebook and various forums from businesses who are new to the craft and event scene this year. And a lot of those posts have been quite despondent, quite negative, because people have obviously spent perhaps lockdown creating and building a brand and they're now bringing it out to try and sell it, and they're wondering why they're not getting the kind of sales that they had perhaps hoped to get. And I've seen people questioning whether their stuff's any good, whether you can actually make a living doing craft fairs and events, and what is wrong with how they're doing it and why aren't they making sales. And I just want to kind of firstly reassure everybody that is new to the scene that you're not necessarily doing anything wrong. In fact, you're probably not doing anything wrong at all. Unfortunately, the reality is for us and for the other stall holders that I have spoken to, because I do chat to the other stall holders at our shows, the sales at the moment are just not really there. There are people coming out, but those people are not spending, and that is, I would say, my gut feeling is it's predominantly down to the price rises that we have seen over the last couple of months. Everybody is tightening their belts, everybody is kind of cutting back. And things like our soaps and perhaps other things you will get at craft fairs and events, like the luxury candles and the art, everything that people do that is a luxury item is unfortunately the kind of stuff that people are cutting back on. Because although soap itself isn't a luxury item, our soap kind of is, because we know you can go to the supermarket and you can buy a cheaper bar of soap. And it's not going to be as nice as ours, but it is going to be cheaper. And when you are tightening your belts, that's the kind of stuff that people are not going to be spending money on. So the sales, I think, for everyone, I haven't spoken to a single stall holder in a single category who said that this year has been better than any of the recent previous years of them. Everybody is reporting really, really low sales, and it is worrying. So if you are new, stick with it if you can, because hopefully, as time goes on, things will hopefully level out a little bit. and people will start to perhaps spend a little bit more money again. That is what I am hoping. Just to illustrate my point, I have created a graph and I have demonstrated the fairs that we have done this year compared to previous years. There are 3 fairs on my graph, and I've picked those 3 fairs because they are ones that we have done in the past. We've done more than 3 fairs this year, but they're ones we haven't necessarily done before. So the 3 I'm showing you today are 3 that we have done in the past. So this is my event comparison. And I'm going to pop it up on the screen for you now because I don't know how I can see it on my piece of paper. So let's get it up on the screen and have a little look at it. So the first fair down here, Hyde Hall 2021 and Hyde Hall 2022. Now Hyde Hall was actually our best event by miles last year. We did really well. We took over £2,000 in the weekend, and that for us is amazing. It was a fantastic, brilliant event. Hyde Hall in 2022, we have just got back from Hyde Hall 2022 and sales were low. We took less than half of what we took last year. We still had lots of people looking, but we did have people saying, I can't afford it right now. People were buying, but they were buying the less expensive items. So perhaps they were buying a £5 soap instead of buying 3 soaps for £12, which was our offer, or instead of perhaps buying some of our more expensive items, like our gift sets. I don't think I sold a single gift set at Hyde Hall, which is really unusual. But so the more expensive items were the ones that people weren't choosing to buy, and when they were treating themselves, it was to lower priced items, which completely impacted on how much we took over the weekend. Now, we did still make profit at Hyde Hall, which is good. You know, you don't want to do all that work and not make a profit. We did make a profit, but it's not as high as we would have hoped it to be. Moving on to the next little bar on my graph is Penshurst Place. Now, we actually did Penshurst Place the same weekend that we did Hyde Hall. Wayne was running Penshurst and I was running Hyde Hall. If you look at the graph, the actual level of Penshurst in previous years is very similar to what it was for 2022. So you might initially go, well, that's okay. It's, you know, it's very similar. However, Penshurst was 2019 that we last did this show, so it was pre-lockdown, pre-COVID, pre-everything, when life was great. But we had only just started, and all we were offering at this show this year was soaps. We didn't have any of our scrubs, we didn't have our bath bombs, we didn't have our body butters, it was purely just soap. So the fact that we took more in 2019 just selling soap than we did in 2022 when we had all of our other product ranges as well, again, it's worrying. I'm not going to lie, it is a worrying trend. Not unexpected, unfortunately, but definitely worrying, because I would have expected Penshurst to have been way up if the economy and everything was still the same as it was back in 2019, because introducing those new ranges, we should have been making higher sales. So although the levels of turnover are relatively similar, for a business that's been going 3 years, you know, it's been 2019 to 2022, 3 years, it should have been much higher than where it was. And the last show we have got down here is the South of England show. Now, you've probably seen me at the South of England show if you've watched our other videos. Normally, this is a really good show for us. Up until this year, we had always had a great weekend, always made plenty of profit, and it was just a really good event to be at. But again, it follows the same trend. 2022, we took approximately half the amount of money that we took in 2021. So it has sales cut in half again. It's really disappointing when this happens, and there's really nothing we can do about it at the moment. It is just the way the economy is going. And it kind of works in circles, because I often spend a bit of money at the South of England show because there's so many nice things and their food hall is amazing. But because I wasn't taking the money from sales that we were making, I wasn't then spending the money on other stall holders. So I guess then they're not spending the money. So everyone's just tightening their belts. And I just wanted to do this quick video just to show, you know, how big the impact has been for us. And it is definitely a concerning trend. Those 3 shows, we did make profit at all of them. but we didn't make enough. You know, it's like, could we survive on what we were earning this year purely if shows were our only source of income? And the answer is definitely no. Whereas last year, with what we were earning, we probably could have. If we didn't have any other forms of income, we could probably have just scraped by on what we took from the shows last year. This year, it's a completely different state of affairs. And if events were our only source of income, then it would be even more worrying, because there's no way we can survive on the money that has just come in from the events. So if you are trading at fairs and events, then don't be despondent if it is your first year and people are not purchasing from you, because it is likely more to do with how much they can or cannot afford to spend, more so than there being anything wrong at all with your product. So just keep going, try and ride the wave if you can, and let's all hope for a better 2023. If it's not a better 2023, then I don't know what we're going to do, because to be honest, at the minute, it is a struggle for us as well. And we've been going, say, 4 years, and it is a struggle. And we are noticing sales dipping down on the website as well. Website orders are down. Wholesale orders are still coming in, but the wholesale orders are for slightly lower amounts. So everything is on kind of a downward at the moment. And I'm not going to lie, we do have to kind of look at our own business here as well, because we need to think of a contingency plan and what we are going to do if sales do continue to stay low. And there will be a plan, because there has to be a plan. I haven't quite worked out what the plan actually is just yet, but there's definitely going to be a plan to get, you know, more money coming in. And there's various things we have started doing. We are starting to upload a few more YouTube videos because we have a bit more time, because we're not making quite as much stock, because we're not selling it as quickly. And those videos that we show on YouTube, they bring us in a few pounds per video, so that helps. You know, it is something. We are actively going out and trying to bring in more wholesale orders just to kind of raise that up a little bit. And we're potentially thinking about going to cheaper fairs, because at the minute we are going to fairs and events that are slightly more on the expensive side. I suppose the average cost for us for an event is probably a couple of £100 for a weekend. And that is relatively high, because it's what's worked for us in the past. We found that spending a bit more money and attending a bigger event has brought in a higher return than doing a cheaper event. But I'm thinking we may look at farmers markets, which are often cheaper to get a pitch at, and perhaps just try and build up our name there so that we can get more repeat customers coming back to us and establish a name for ourselves at a permanent location, rather than just sort of floating around to different events across the country. So there will definitely be a plan. It's going to take a little while, as I said, to figure out that plan, but I will figure out that plan. And I'm sure that lots of you out there are in the same boat as well. So yeah, 2022, compared to previous years, even compared to COVID years, is down. It's worrying, but let's hope that this cost of living kind of levels out a little bit and people start coming out and spending money again, because that's all we can do. But we're not going to give up, because we don't give up. Well, that was just a very quick video for today. We will see you tomorrow. Let us know how you're getting on at fairs and events as well, because I think when everyone sort of chats about it, it makes things a bit easier if you are struggling. So let's all talk about how we're doing at fairs and events. Let us know how you're getting on, and let us know anything you've done to adapt your own business as well. If you've had any brilliant brainwaves, we'll get through it, won't we? See you all tomorrow. Bye.